Good morning, everyone. My name's LINH. Welcome to our talk show today. Today, I'm very lucky because I'm not alone. Come with me today, we have the other three speakers. Now, I would like to introduce Mr. Chung. Hello, Chung.
Hello.
Mr. Long.
Hello, everyone.
And Miss Su Yeung.
Yeah, hello, everyone.
Yes, hello, Su. Okay, you can see a lot of people behind us, right? Just guess, where are we now? Now we are at the head office of Square in San Francisco, and this is also our topic today, Square Incorporation. All right. So now let's go through the agenda. Industry insights, company background, financial analysis, strategy plans, both current and global, and strategy execution actions. And the final one is references and appendix. So now let's start with industry insights. I may invite one of our speakers, Mr. Chung, will share with us about this. Mr. Chung, please.
Thanks, Ms. Lin, for introduction. So, hey everybody, I'm Chung. So right now, I'm move to the industry insights. But first of all, I would like to all of you to see some short videos. Just want to understand that the Square market and what industry Square is involved in. Okay.
Yes.
So.
Okay, Chung.
Square is open for every business, old and new, large and local, and for wherever business is happening today. You can run your whole business here and get paid anywhere. You can welcome new opportunities, even when your doors aren't open, and you can make every part of your business work together. Square, the shape of things that come.
Yeah. So this is just a short video for introductions, Square, and I guess that everybody just have a short brief that what industries Square is involved. Square is mostly start with the payment services, but it's not only for payment but also for the others. So let's start with some number that's showing industries Square involved. First of all, we talk about the personal spending. As you can see, in general, the graph showing the trends for the personal spending is increased year by year, but in Q2 2020 is suddenly decreased because of COVID-19 pandemic affected. But after that, the personal spending is increasing, and in Q1 2021, the amount is already exceeds the Q1 2020. And in the next the pie is next to the personal spending, you can see that the payment method in US, that's mostly we have 51% people using contactless payments. That is showing the very strong evidence that the people in US now is moving to use the contactless payments. Yeah. In the next slide, we have some Square resources for the method of payments. In Square Seller, they have 45% increasing in February 2021 compared with the previous year. And we have 52% of the business taking online payment compared with last year. And okay, and for the next, we can see that 74% of the Square Seller accepted the contactless payment the end of February 2021, up 64% a year ago. And we Square divided into the segment, the market segment, and as you can very clearly see that in April 2020, the cashless business is rapidly increasing because of the COVID-19, and after that is slowing down, but it's still maintained. It's quite good if you compare with the period of time before COVID-19 in March 2020. Okay, so this is a little bit insight for the industries. I hope that you can understand a little bit for the payment industries. But however, Square is not only doing the payment. He also doing the loan, the business loan, and so that reason why Square is become the financial service providers. It's not only payments providers, and so because of that, I want to offer you seeing the one very short videos just to introduce the loan process on Square. And
if you need cash to take your business to the next level or to take care of the day-to-day stuff, check out Square Capital. It all starts with an email or a notification. Just slide to choose an amount, see your fee and repayment rate, decide on the funding that's right for your business, and know exactly how much you'll pay to cover the cost of the loan. There are no ongoing interest, closing costs, or any additional fees, not even late ones. If everything looks good, hit select. Tell us a few things about yourself and your business, and you're all set. Applying doesn't affect your credit score. We'll review everything and get back to you in 1 to 3 business days. If you're approved, funds are deposited as soon as the next business day, so you can put your money to work fast. Plus, paying it back is easy. A little bit of your Square credit and debit sales goes toward your loan balance every day. This means if you bring in $1,000 one day and your repayment rate is 16%, you pay off $160 of your loan that day. If you're closed the next, you don't pay a thing. The time it takes to pay off your loan depends on your business's sales. Most businesses pay it all back within a year. We just ask that you hit your minimum every 60 days and that everything is paid back in 18 months. Repayment happens automatically, so you never have to think about making a payment. Ready to find out how much money your business is eligible for? Go to square.com/go/businesscash
to get started today.
Yes, thank you, Trung, for the information of the industry and a bit information of Square as well. So now let's go through company background. I would like to invite Ms. Su Young to introduce us more information and details about Square. So please.
Okay, let's visit Square. We are now at San Francisco. It's located of headquarters of Square. Beside that, Square also have other office in Canada, Japan, Australia, Iceland, and United Kingdom. Yes, we are in the head office, and I have some picture to show you inside of Square. This is a meeting room, so employee can discussing, working in here. As you can see, the Square space is very spacious and separate. Moreover, Square also have pantry with many coffees and tea for employees to take a rest.
Okay.
Yes, you can see some face of Square employee, and the next photo. Many Mac computer in their desk. And the next, I will to talk to you vision and mission of Square. As you know, Square is a financial service and digital payment company. They want to be a company that can facilitate everyone should be able to participate and thrive in the economy. And For the mission, they building easy tool to empower and enrich everyone, and a tool that shorten the distance between having an idea and making a living from it. So their goal is no one should be left out of the economy because the cost is too great or technology is too complex. So if you would like to more information inside of Square, you can contact me. I willing to answer any questions. I just want to highlight for core value for use. Square is a comprehensive commercial ecosystem that helps sellers start, run, and grow their business. And they combine sophisticated software with affordable hardware to enable sellers to turn mobile and computing device into power payment and point of sale solution. And they also build a similar ecosystem of service for individual with the cash app to providing financial asset and allowing anyone to send, spend and save money. And finally, it's all aligned with the purpose of economic empowerment, helping all kinds of people success and grow in the economy. And for the Square segment, that's the seller ecosystem and cash app ecosystem that I just mentioned in core value. So we'll go around some information overview about Square. I think you would like to know financial health of Square. Is this right?
Yes, okay, that's fine. So let's continue with the financial analysis to check out what is the financial health. So let's start with the 4 important points here. We will go through the profit, revenue, expenditures, and debt and return. So now let's go one by one. Firstly, the profit. During the 4 years 2016 to 2020. Sao không đi slide được mọi người ơi? Yes, okay, thank you, Sue. So now it's time for us to check out the financial health of Square. The profit, expenditures, revenue, debt, and return. Okay, so let's start with the profits during the past 4 years from 2016 to 2020. Yes, now you can see the charts here. Let's start with the 2019 and 2020. We can see that Square have the positive profit on net income. And yes, due to the impact of COVID-19, so the profit decreased during this year. But you can see here, from the gap disclosure 2016 to 2018, the negative profits. The reason why we will share with you in the next slides. How about the profit by the segment? You all aware about that, where we have the 2 main segments in the seller and cash app. So now let's look at for the seller profit first. The chart here gives us the information of, let me show you more detail here. Okay, so when we see for the period 2019 and 2020 and the segment and the June of 2020 and 2021, we can see that the cost of revenue decreased. Yes, and for segment here, the cost of revenue increased. And how about the net revenue? The net revenue increased during the 2 periods here. Okay, yes. So now let's move on to the startup to see any difference. Well, I think it's a big difference. The big gap here and the percentage of increase also. We can see the cost of revenue increased sharply, but the net revenue also increased sharply too. Yes, that's interesting, right? And how about the whole picture of profit growth? We can see that the profit growth, the gross profit growth here is fluctuation. during the 2016 to 2020, but it's around 40 to 50%. But during two past year of 2019 and 2020, the gross profit growth maintained. Yes, that's also because the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. So how about the expenditures? Yeah, the expenditure here, if you see the chart, I believe that we clearly see that what's where spent most, right? That's in product development. And that's also the reason why make the net income of Square negative during the past 4 years from 2016 to 2018, I just mentioned previously. So how about the operating expenses? When we see this chart, we find that 2020, yes, last year, we can see that the product development and sale and marketing is above. The chart is above. It means they increase this kind of expenses. Operating expenses increase. But for the general and administration, also transaction and loan losses or amortization of acquired customer assets, they decrease compared to the previous period. Yes. So just keep in your mind that kind of information before we come to analyze the strategy. I think it's very helpful for all of us. So now let's see the percentage of expenses of revenue. We're all aware that the cost or the expenditure of Square is increasing over time. So how about that if we convert it to percentage of revenue? So let's see the two pie chart here. For 2020 and 2021, we can see that we imagine that a whole pie is in the revenue 100%, and how much the expenses contribute to this. When we see the chart, we can see that here the total expenses, they just around 40. Yeah, I believe that below 40%. But for here, for this period, just only 20%. So what does it mean? It means that the expenses here, it generates the more revenue, more effective and more benefit for Square during this period. Now we come to revenue. Yes, the segment revenue by cash app. What we need to highlight from this chart. For the cash app segment, we can see that all revenue of Square is contributed by the Bitcoin. Sharply increased from 2019. Just give you some information that Square just start Bitcoin from 2018. And now you can see that increase and sharply increase, especially in 2020. Yes. And how about seller? The more contributor of the seller revenue is the transaction-based revenue. And it also increased over years, but slowly, right? Gradually from 2019 to 2020. Now look at the bigger picture of revenue and gross profit. For the cash app, increasing from the past year, and for both segment revenue and segment gross profit. How about the seller? Yes, the same, right? So we can understand that the COVID-19 pandemic may slow down the growth rate of Square business, but it not stop. It's not make them drop down in any trend of revenue. So that's a good point for Square. Yes. So now let's see the US revenue contribute to the whole company. If you see the chart here, you can see that the revenue from US always contribute above 90%, a major proportion. And the interesting point here, you see, this is the figure for 6 months 2020 and 2021. The number is around $10 million, right? And it's almost over the figure of the full year 2020. It means that we can expect much for the revenue in the next period. So just let's move on to see how about the financing and the balances of Square. If we come to analyze the financing activities, we can see that the cash flow of Square is come from financing activities is a huge number in 2020. And if we analyze the trends of long-term debt, you can see that keep increasing and sharply increased in 2020. Yes. And I believe you know the purpose behind, right? Why they need to have a loan and they use it for, yeah, product development. Yes, that is correct answer. And may give you some hints for what is the strategy Square is pursuing now. Now, how about the ratio? If we assume here's either our balances, the Square balance sheet, the asset, total asset, and how we see the proportion of equity and liability, you can see that the liability, they contribute more in the balances compared to equity in 2019. So how about in 2020? Yes, it keeps increasing in liability in their balances. So that's just quickly to view the sum the ratio to give you more information. This also increasing. How about the ROE? Yes, for ROE here, we can see for PayPal compared with Square, one of strong competitor of Square. So now for PayPal, you can see that they increase ROE from 2019 to 2020. But for Square, we drop down. We strongly drop down. Yes. And for during the period 2016 and 2018, I mentioned already, they incur the negative income profit, yeah, net profit. And but PayPal, they have the positive net income during this period. So that's made all information about the financial highlights I would like to share with you all guys. Hope that you can have more information and helpful information to come to the next section. This is the strategy.
Okay, so thanks, Ms. Linh, for very detailed financials situation for Square. And as everybody can heard about Ms. Linh, that she mentioned a lot about the product developments, a lot about the strategies. So I believe that everybody have a little bit insight for what the Square doing right now. And okay, let's move on to the next slide. Ask Mr. Dương. Okay, I asked Ms. Dương to mention with you before for the company background. Square is doing two main business segment. Is the seller and cash off. And for sellers, we divide into B2B because it's the business to business segment. And cash off is the B2C. That means it's business to customer, direct to the customer, consumers. For as on the screen, we very clear to see that is a business model canvas for Square. But I just only mentioned very important points. That is the customer segments, value proposition, and customer relationship. For customer segment, we also divided into two main sectors. The first sector is the B2B, and the second sector is B2C. what is the main customer segment for business to business in Square? The first we can mention that is the seller, the retailer want to apply high-tech technologies just to push up the sale or maybe grow up their business. And the second is the small and mid-market owners looking for alternative payment methods instead of cash directly. And the others is some small business. They don't have a lot of knowledge for financials or knowledge for the management, and they want the support from third party with ecosystem, can have them to own controls and support them to grow up their business. For B2C, this Square is focused into the person want to do the contactless payments for limitation the contacting with others. That is the chance, especially for COVID-19. This is the boost up this trends a lot. The second for B2C is the people want to get payment on e-commerce channels. This is also one very important chance that you can see significant increasing in globally during COVID-19, and right now we are very recommended and using the e-commerce channels to do the shopping. So that's reason why the needs from the customer want to do some digital payment. The next will be the people want to have a short-term loan using in emergency cases that they cannot have this benefit if they want to, they go to traditional bank, because in traditional bank you have to process a lot of documentations, a lot of things, and the special is take a lot of time. If you want, if you go to traditional bank, you want to take a loan, they have to be checked a lot. But in Square and in Cash App and seller, you can do very easily, is the most convenient way. That is I believe that you see in the videos, introduction video for loan. For value propositions, Square bring the customer integrated software that they can do everything in Square platform. And the most famous of Square is they have a very beautiful design. If you compare with the other competitors, I think that is one very most interesting point, and this is also the competitive advantage of Square for the other competitors in the B2B sectors.
Yes.
In B2C, what is the value propositions the customer can get? That they can have the debit card or credit card linked directly to the app. They can do the investment. They can do the investment on Bitcoins or stock in the Cash App. And as you maybe you heard about the Square acquisition, the Afterpay, buy now and Afterpay. That is the company have a headquarters in Australia, but they are very strong, and this like it's a very competitive advantage of Square that they acquisition the Afterpay. That is some alternative solution and for the customer, and for sure that is no fee if you pay back in time for the Afterpay. What the customer relationship Square doing right now, they have a contact directly with the customer. They have a sales people contact directly with the customer in B2B segment. They have supported the customer very well via phone, emails, or even chat in their website. If you want to reach Square, you can call them every time. You can chat with them in the Square platform. And for B2C, because they have a mobile phone, they use the app in mobile phone. and other convenience, other high-tech technologies. So they also give the support, very good support to the customer in phone call, email, and chat. And they have frequently online surveys to the customer to see what is the customer needs, what is the customer insight, to do the product developments, to do the market development as they're doing. They also have some key partners like seller referrals. If you introduce your friends, you introduce your partners to join with Square, you can have some commission. So it's like a key partner. Word of mouth to introduce Square product. The banks also is the key partner. Some e-commerce channels, some business app developers, and the manufacturers for the hardware in B2B segment. Square have a lot of key activities here. They have a product development and technology team. They have a sales marketing team. Customer service is the one of that. The cost structure is Miss LINH already mentioned with you very detailed for the finance. And the cost structure, I can highlight. They have some Bitcoin cost, sales and marketing. Right now, they're doing the very strong sales and marketing to boost up the brand's awareness. So this is the very key point for the cost structure. For the channels is the communication with the customer via phone, email, and live chat, as I mentioned in the relationship with the customer. They also doing some traditional marketing like televisions. On the television, they do some advertising in televisions. They also combine with very famous celebrities and they do very strong marketing. It's applied for both B2B and B2C. Well, after the business model canvas, I hope that you will have a very short and understanding for what Square is focusing. And right now, Miss LINH, can you introduce the
Yes, sure. Thank you, Mr. Chung, a lot. Yeah, I think you just shared with us a really, how to say, is a useful tool. Is a business model canvas to use to analyze a business model, right? Yes, thank you very much. And before we come into the next section is a very important point that is a value chain. So now just watch a short video.
You might sell across a counter or across the country. You might offer pickup or delivery. Or maybe you have an online store. However you sell, there are two main ways to take a card payment. Card present. These are your chip card, contactless, and magstripe payments, which take place in person. And card not present. These are your invoices, online orders, or any payment where you might be physically apart from your customer or manually entering the card information. In most cases, over 97% of the money goes to your bank account. Then a small percentage, typically between 2 and 4%, is split up among several institutions that help move the money from point A to point B. This is called the card processing fee, which is generally divided into 3 parts. The majority of that fee goes toward interchange fees and network assistance. Interchange fees go to your customer's card issuing bank. Network assistance go to the card network, usually Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover. A smaller portion of the fee covers PCI compliance, a system of standards that protects payment information from hackers. And risk. Card not present payments are considered to be at greater risk of fraud because it's easier for fraudsters to make remote purchases with stolen card information. So to help keep your business protected, the fee for these types of transactions is slightly higher. Once we pay these fees, the remainder of the card processing fee goes to Square to build tools to help run your business and to take care of all sorts of things so you don't have to. At Square, we use our collective size. We need all of the Square sellers around the world to keep costs down. To learn more, visit square.com/fees.
I think the value chains look quite complicated, but That's the reason why I would like to invite one of our speakers. He will give us more information and the really key highlight information about value chain of Square. So now, yes, Mr. Long, are you happy to share with us?
Yes, Miss Lin, I'm happy. So
Yes.
thank you, Miss Lin, about introducing about the value chains. By the way, I think everybody already have some idea through the watching the video. So
Yeah.
right now is the value chains that I want to from Square that I want to introduce everybody here. As you see that we have 2 points to course mention about the remedy activities. The first one is contract manufacturers. The contract manufacturer is the whole process that the contract manufacturer reduce the product hardware for Square. This is also show the weakest point of Square because Square is not involved any activity from contract manufacturing. They only provide the designs and the supplier for the manufacturer to produce. When the product is finished, Square have the marketing and sales team to support to sell the hardware product to the installer. So when the reseller have the hardware product in the store and the customers payment through the Square hardware product, is go through another process. Here we call Square payment transactions. As you imagine that every time you use your payment card to settle the payments, each transaction happen just few seconds. But you know that behind that they have a lot of complicated process and many steps are behind, as you can see.
Yes, I agree with you.
So through this payment transaction, I just want to highlight 3 points here. So Ms. Lin, can you show it? Yes. Last one is the interchange fee and network assessment. The second one is Square tool feature fees. And the third one is the PCI compliance and risk. Those factors, that's where I need to focus on. That make them to improve in the process and also help them to manage the cost transaction and get them to make more competitive with another competitors.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Long. I got your idea already. So you just mentioned with us the really connection between the value chains and the business model canvas, right?
Yes.
So that means that's we need to really understand about the cost structure and they link with the value chain here to have the more, how to say, the further efficient strategy in the future.
Yes, right.
Okay. Yes, very interesting. Thank you, Mr. Long. So maybe I think this is the right time for us to move to the objectives before we come to the strategy. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yes. So I understand that for the objectives, we will have strategic objectives and financial objectives. Yeah. So now just share with us the strategic objectives.
Okay, thanks, Lin. So about the strategic objective, we will look into the current objective first. About the short terms, Square now they try to create a new product, a new service for the customers for the current segment they are supporting. And by the way, they also improve the cash app to make everybody to use it as easier. By the way, they also focus on the increase the brand's awareness to new audience by they coordinate with the famous singer just like Miley Cyrus and coordinated with a big company just like Honda to increase the brand awareness to the customer. About the long term, so as you know, they Square already acquired Afterpay. And the biggest companies for the buy now and pay later service. And Square they want to integrate the service with seller and the casa to make the perfect platform. I mean the perfect financial technologies. So,
yes.
and And that's why I think that is the ways to help them to support for the upper market. That's the market they try to approach, because right now they only focus on the middle and the small markets. For the long term, they want to up on the market. And I can see that Square also want to create a new platform. As you already have the trading with the Bitcoin, you know the Binance. So Square now trying to create a different platform for the cryptocurrency trading.
Okay, so that is the all current strategic objectives of Square for short term and long term, right?
Yes, right.
Oh, so if you have a chance to propose another strategic objectives, so what do we do, Long?
Yes, sure. So let me introduce about my proposal about the strategy objective. For the short term, as I mentioned about the value chains, they don't, for the contract manufacturing, they don't involve too much. So it's the winning way, because they cannot control the cost for manufacturing.
Yes.
And if they want to improve the transaction and give the better service to the customer, they have to reduce the transaction cost and make it better. And additional resource for support R&D is a key to, because fintech is the key to support for fintech is technology. Technology is the key activity the Square must be involved.
Yes.
As you know, the Square also acquired Tidal, but right now I see that they didn't utilize the Tidal. So I want to propose that the title of the shareholder, a lot of famous singers, as you know, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Rihanna. So I believe that, yes, I believe that Square can use those famous singers to increase the brand awareness to Square.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
that's a good idea. Yeah, very good idea.
Yes, and next point is I can see from organization of Square that they don't have the supply chain management.
Yeah.
Because supply chain management is the person to manage the contract manufacturing. So I think I propose to have a function department just like supply chain management, because this department will be managed the contract manufacturing, and also try to source a new component supplier to reduce the supplier power. Yeah, for the long term, human is the keys if you want to grow the business, grow the companies. So
one of assets, right? Yeah,
that's right. And innovation Destra platform. Destra platform is a machine learning. It's very useful to analyze the customer behavior, also analyzing the risk. So we have to innovate the current platform to make it better for the long-term support. Yes. And you know, the fintech is now growing so fast. A lot of startup companies jumping in this industry. So I believe the strategy to acquire a startup company, also the way to reduce the competitor, also increase your advantage, competitive advantage. CEO Jack Ross is this guy is so multiple jobs. I think say that he handles Square. He also handles Twister. Both of them is a very big company, so I'm not sure he can control all. So I think he should assign or divide the job to another people. So here I want to recommend Mr. David Singleton. David Singleton is a CEO of the Strip. Strip is the main competitor of Square. So this guy very strong in the financial service. So maybe Chad Dawson must be considered about him. Yeah.
Okay, but for this boy, sorry, Mr. Long. For this boy, but I believe that Chad Dorsey is they still how to say work well, right?
I can say that he still work well, but for the long term, I'm not guaranteed he still can adapt with his enthusiasm. He want to create more platform. He want to make more business, different business. Yes.
So I understand that for this point, you suggest to reduce Mr. David Singleton from strike to accept Mr. Trek-Donsey for long term because we have a lot of plan and the objectives to do in the long term, is it?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Please go on.
Yeah. The next point is improve the financial performance, just like improve the credit rating, the stock market, so on. And the last, Square must be looking for alternative and expand the contract manufacturing component supplier, because right now they only rely on one contract manufacturing, and some single supplier is very tough for them if those suppliers have some issues.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Long, you know, for me, your sharing and your ideas super great. But
yeah,
I hope that management board of Square also think and feel like me.
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
Yes. So now just move on to the financial objectives. So how about financial objectives? You share with us, or we should invite Mr. Chung?
I think I can. Yeah.
Better let Mr. Long doing this. Is the expert from this field.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes. So this
yes.
is about financial objectives. Yeah.
Yes, we have to go through the strategy objective. So now I want to propose some financial objective to Square. As you can see, the chart, the revenues growing up significantly, especially for 2021.
Yes.
Yep. Mostly because the Bitcoin is now the trend. The cryptocurrency is now the trend in the market, in the financial technology market. So that's one is a big jump in 2021 and slightly increase in 2022, 2023. And because they want to grow the market, but the new market is not easy for you to touch on.
Okay, you mentioned about the growth rate, is it correct?
Yes.
And another point you mentioned here is that the cash up is contribute a lot on the growing the revenue growth in the future.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got your idea. Yes.
Yes. And look at the right charts. You can see the gross profit. I propose them to increase 50% year over years, because I encourage to them to manage the cost, the operating costs from value chains. From the value chain, they can reduce the operating costs, transaction costs, even the Bitcoin costs. Bitcoin costs, now I remember that Square already invests $5 million in Bitcoin mining.
Yes. A lot
Yes.
money. Yes.
So right now they can proactive to have the Bitcoin from them. It's the way to have them to reduce the cost. So that's why I expect their profits will be increased so well.
Okay, thank you. So we move on.
Yep.
Yes. How about operating income?
Operating income, as you see, from the beginning to 2015 is a negative, but starting to increase from 19 and slow down at 20. The slowdown is mostly because they lost the contract with the Starbucks.
Okay.
Yes.
They lost Starbucks.
Yes. Yeah, the Starbucks is a food and beverage, very famous brand. So they lost. This one is a very big, it's a huge loss.
Yes.
So I expect for the next 3 years, they cannot grow up so fast like 2019. So it's been growing gradually, but still a very positive number.
Yes, okay. I remember only Starbucks they contribute around 10%
Yeah.
to the gross revenue of Square during the time they still be with Square. And also this time COVID-19, right?
Yes. I
Why
think
not?
I believe
Yeah,
yes, it's
yeah.
COVID-19
Two reasons.
happen everywhere and everybody
Yeah,
is infected.
yeah. So two reasons for Square. Wow,
Yeah.
terrible. Okay.
And just like the same with the operating income, EPS is the same. So
Mm.
you can see the 2015 negative and then 19 increase. So we propose the next 3 years it increase gradually.
Okay, so that's for earning per share.
Yeah.
Okay, hope that the investor can be happier
Yeah.
with
Thank
Square.
you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Long. But we go through a lot of analysis from starting with Mr. Chung with industry insights, and then Ms. Su already shared about Square background, and then we come to the financial analysis objectives, but we have not talked about the strategy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think now is time for us to talking more specific points about the strategy, and also how is the plan? Yeah, we propose for Square. So now let's see the agenda timeline first. I see here we already divide the plan into a short term and long term. So now we look at one by one. Let's see, firstly, January to March 2021, machine learning. So what's in machine learning? I remember that one of you just shared with us that machine learning is not effective currently. Is it correct? And the strategy here, I see you define the product development and diversification for the current business strategy of Square. Yes, and in the short term and long term, there's a add more strategy is market development. So maybe I would like to ask Mr. Chung. Yeah. So Mr. Chung, could you please share with us some inside information behind the business strategy you analyze and you propose for Square in the future?
Okay, so let's talk about the current first, and we most understanding. We mentioned a lot about the product developments in the previous sections, but actually the product development is just correct for the B2B segment. B2B segment because they develop the products in existing market. They're doing very well for the integrated software. A lot of features in the software to have the sellers, like they are doing marketing, maybe they are doing some analysis for the employee, they're doing some analysis for the customer insights. They also development the platform to have the seller can very easily to do the e-commerce channels. So that's the reason why the current strategy right now we evaluated that is a product development. For diversification, you can see below is belong to the B2C segments. B2C segments, why they are diversification? Because the first of all, they doing the cashless payment for personally for person to contactless payment on e-commerce channels, and they just acquisition the buy now pay later after pays. This is the another products and different segment for them. And as you very can see that they just acquisition the title. It's a music stream platform. And it is some clear evidence that the Square doing some diversifications on the B2C
Yes,
segment.
yes, very clear. Yes,
Yeah.
very clear.
And let's talk about the short-term and long-term strategy. Short-term and long-term strategy is, as Mr. Long already is proposed in the previous one. You can see, you can heard about him that a lot of things like value chains, created the department, or even change the current CEO. It's this yeah,
It's not trends exist, right?
yeah. And for short term, we have a product and market development. And for me, it's the right time. For us, it's the right time to change from product development to market development, because they spend a lot for product, a lot of increasing the features, increase the platform for the products. And right now they can think about to expand the market, because they just focus, like Mr. Long mentioned before, they just market into the small and middle market. And right now, I think that this is a good time for Square, after a lot of marketing campaign to increase the brand awareness, to involve a little bit involved into the big enterprise. That is in the annual report. Square also mentioned that is the key in the key strategy they have to be looking for in the futures. So this is market development for B2B segment. For B2C, we give we recommend Square doing the diversifications. But right now we more specific is what the strategy of diversification is. The concentric diversifications. That means they develop the new products, new features into the new market, because they already have a lot of potentials, a lot of advantages when they acquisition title, the acquisition afterpay. They have existing market, and right now even they have very strong data, as you can see on the Square analysis from cash off or sellers. The customer increasing rapidly, and for the data they collect from the customer, they can have it's the era for the big data, so they can use this to research and development the customer insight and what is the customer needs, and they understand it, and then they expand with their products. And so we recommended to give and concentric diversifications for the strategy of B2C.
Yeah, got it, Mr. Chung. So I believe that diversification will make us will face with more risky, right?
You are right, because diversification is the most strategy, risky if you compare with product or market developments.
Yes, yeah. And I also believe that we need to go through a number of models and the tool to analyze and then finalize with the global strategy for Square. It's really take time.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to see more clearly and more detail, we also supply the Excel. That is the very detailed for the strategy. A lot of data there, and you can
Okay. So hope that's helpful for our audience. Yes.
Yeah.
So Mr. Chung just clearly shared with us about the business strategy already. So now just come back to the topic of this slide. We are talking about machine learning. Yes, this is the first proposed execution in our timeline. It's in machine learning, and it related to the innovation and technology. So I would like to turn to Mr. Long for the next question. For the machine learning, do you think how Square can improve to implement this plan?
I think the first of all, they have to enhance the employment skills and training experience there. Because that platform is not easy. The platform to manage to run well. So they have to have the skill and how to how to more evaluate the platform is a make it bigger or perfect.
Oh, okay.
So that's so because that platform it will help you to study the buyer needs, also their behavior, and then you can further differentiate the product and service.
Okay, so that is what Square need to do, right?
Yep.
But if in the customer view, so if I was a customer of Square, so what is the value proposition I can receive or I can get from Square if they improve in machine learning?
Right now I heard that the Square they have got a issue about the payment because a lot of account they lock without reason. So that's platform that we have the customer is to avoid those issues and make it have the Swell ecosystem, speak security, and more the accuracy in the process.
Oh, so you mean like Square can understand more about the customer and then customize their service and product to fit with our customer expectation, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Long. I think that's enough for the first proposed execution. So now let's move on to the next one. The second one, I think we are talking about a loyalty program, and it may have the linkage with the previous slide. A lot of phrase a customer here in this slide. So for loyalty program, do you have any suggestion for that, Mr. Chung?
Okay, so for loyalty program, actually, you can, as you remember in right now for the market, the customer journey is not like you just go one way, you just buy a product and just not using anymore. The customer will come back to use the products based on the customer service. So the loyalty program is one of them. If as at this moment, Square don't have any loyalty programs that can give the existing customer. This is like a referrals as well. As I mentioned in business model canvas, the key partner is also the existing customer because they refer us to their friends, to their partner. And for the loyalty program, they win. It's like a TUNG, and it's like a benefits to keep the customer, to maintain the customer relationship, and to bring some benefit to existing customer. And it's very effective if the existing customer can refer us and happy using Square service and Square products, and they can introduce this into the friends and partners. Yeah.
And also Square have a more chance to understand about the customer. They can get a more insight, right, to improve their product or their service in the future. Yes, that's all the advantage if we run the loyalty program, but I believe that it also have a risk and disadvantage. But how about this, Miss Su? Do you have any idea about the risk if we run this program?
Yes, I think that's a great idea, but maybe we need to spend a lot of time and cost and effort. Yeah, right. Because I know that that's a customer insight and behavior. So it's a very complicated. Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree with you. Yeah. So we need to aware of both sides of the plan and the program to run it more effectively. Okay, so that's good. So now let's move to the next one. That is alternative third parties. Yes, because I believe that the number of third parties now Square is having now is quite limited. So I think that's good to have some proposals in this matter. So now we see in the table we just outline here, we have the suggest some the methods in the short term and in the long term as well. Maybe we start with the short term first. I think Mr. Long will have a lot of ideas to share with us in this issue. Yeah, please, Mr. Long.
Yes, as I mentioned before about the proposal strategy, right now they swear they don't have a supply chain management team. They only rely on Jesse. Jesse is the person is the lead of hardware, but he also manage the manufacturing and operations. So it's very late, very, I think it overlaps for him to manage all everything. So I think we propose the short term is we have to establish the department supply chain management. This team will manage the contract manufacturing, manage from the purchasing components, because right now it's where let contract manufacturing buy the component. They don't involve anything. So it's a very risky if the contract manufacturing, they cannot control the purchasing cost well. So they bring the higher, the hardware production cost is so high. So it will bring the uncompetitive advantage to swear. So that's why we management team is very important for the short term to manage the cost from manufacturing. And for the long term, swear must looking for alternative contract manufacturing. Especially by the way, also have to expand the component supplier, because the component contract manufacturing, they have only one in China, and component supplier, they only few supplier, and very unique supplier. So I want to propose them to finding more contract manufacturing third party and using common components, because right now the current situation, the electric component is very risky now. The global shortage happening everywhere. So if you use the unique component, you cannot find anywhere to replace. So that's why I have to propose that for the long term.
Yes, okay, Mr. Long, you just mentioned one point, that's they have just a one, right, in the China.
Yeah.
And I remember during just past year, yes, just the past years, past periods, they how to say, the import tariff, the tariff.
Yeah.
They keep changing, right?
Yeah.
They keep changing, and maybe it makes very headaches about this issue. Very hard for them to control the cost and also control everything related to this kind of logistic shipment from China back to US.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why they should consider the Asian company, the Asian countries, because right now, especially Vietnam and Malaysia, Vietnam is most of manufacturer from China transfer to Vietnam to support for the company in US. We can use the Vietnam because right now Vietnam have a lot of competitive to compare with other country, the labor cost policy, and even right now the skill, the labor skill also improve a lot compared with many years ago.
Hope that. Yes. Hope that if our countries can control well the COVID-19 pandemic as soon as possible, we are in the recovery stage and we can address more global international company or the contract, right?
Yes,
maybe we can sign a contract with Square.
Yes.
In the near future. Yes, but it still have risk. I think so. Even we have a loss on a number of the advantage, but do you think it's hard or easy to find a suitable alternative, Miss Su?
Yes, I think it's really not easy to find the suitable alternative. So it's a very hard a risk. Then we just move on.
Yes. Okay. So it's maybe a one risk, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. So now we move on to the maybe it's nearly the last proposal already. That is talking about the strategic alliance. Yes. So during our discussion, I found that Square, they have a number of acquisitions. For example, a Tidal, Afterpay, Whipley, yes, and others. But now we're talking about strategic alliance. So it means that it should be bring some benefit to Square. So now let's look at about the strategic, okay, the strategic alliance. Yeah, just start with strategic alliance. If we implement this plan, so what is the alliance you are subject to Square? For this question, maybe I would like to invite Mr. Long again. I want to hear your ideas first. Yeah.
Yeah, for the short-term R&D, you know the Salesforce is the cloud company, technology companies. They grow so fast right now, and they have the biggest, they have very big CRM system. That's so many company, fintech company have the partner with them already, just like Strip and Clover. So I want to propose Square must to do the same with another competitor because Salesforce had a very big platform, and somehow they will utilize to both Square and Salesforce to make a very innovative platform for the payment transactions.
Okay, I got it. Yeah. So I see that the strategic alliance in the short term is a payment card network and processors such as a Visa or Master American Express. I understand here because currently Square depends a lot on the payment card and network. Is it correct, Mr. Long?
Yes, through the value chain, you see that every transaction go through the payment card network. They have to charge you the network assessment fee.
Yeah.
So if you can do the partner with them, and maybe I think the card network, they have to give some proposal to the partner or to the customer, or maybe they have some promotion to the Square as just like, I think the competitive price more than another technology company, another payment technology company.
Yeah, this a kind of we create a better relationship.
Yes.
With this. Yeah. Okay. I not understand. But so for this case in short term, Miss Su, do you think if we run this plan in short term, so what is the advantage? Yeah, what is the advantage for Square?
Yes. And another idea, I think, if we can conduct the strategy alliance plan, they have Square to share the risk and also reduce the investment cost. Yes, do you agree with me?
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, thanks so. And I also have the information that Square already acquired the TikTok already. And Mr. Chung, do you think in the long term, if this strategy, this plan and this proposal can be support the objective of Square to open to the new market?
Yes, it's definitely yes, because you know, it's like TikTok, Pinterest here is how can I say, it's the social media, it's the social platform media for a lot of people, and everybody here know that, and I'm pretty sure that all of us and all of audience using Facebook, using TikTok, and most of them maybe know about the Pinterest. Is and a lot of customer database there, and based on that, you know, Square, if they can alliance with them, this I think that is the very competitive advantage for others, because they can understand the customer inside very easily.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chung. So that is all our proposals for the is derived from the main issue. When we analyze the data, the information of where using the really useful tool and models as well. So go further, we also would like to suggest some plans, some strategies, some execution, some for Square, but it doesn't mean that Square is facing the issue on this matter, but we would like to talk about this to propose to Square more ideas. That is the value chain. Yes, we already heard about Ms. Long already shared with us about the value chains and about the process, the CAD network and the interchange fee something. But can we do it better? Can Square more minimize the cost? Yes, during this process. So now just look at more details on this. So here we can see that the first ideas are to revise the value chains that we merge. Yes, we merge the existing PSE, the risk management and acquiring processor and acquiring bank too, to reduce the transaction-based cost and interchange fees. I believe that is one of the reasons why one of our speakers, Mr. Long, shared that they believe on the growth, on the revenue and gross profit growth when we do the forecast, yeah, and expect for the next few years of Square operation. So now, yes, for the cost structure, we also can revise to reduce the direct cost and operating costs. Later on, if we can build effectively the integrated platform and we invest today to generate the benefit in the future. But the human resource, the human is also the key access of every corporate. It's not only Square. But one of our speakers she really interested and have a knowledge about the culture and the human resource management of Square. Maybe we can listen some idea from her. Miss Su, are you willing to share with us?
Yes, of course. I think for any new division or new department creation, the human capital also is the key important thing. So I think if we can more about the rewards for employees and can help them to increase and besides we can help Square increase the productivity and innovation and efficiency as well. Yes, so this is my idea.
Okay, thank you a lot, Esther. So now we quickly move to the last one for the startup. I think as last of thing we can discuss here. We see here that Square already acquires data with the title Afterpay as our speakers already shared with you, and but talk a bit further. I see here we have a proposal for the THUY in the long term under startup proposal. Yes, acquisitions. I would like to hear the ideas from Mr. Long. Do you think is it how to say, is it workable if we can acquire a startup such as THUY in the long run?
Yes. The thing is will not workable if you don't want to do. So the THUY is I search in that, I know that THUY is one of the top startup company, fintech company. But they do a separate segment with Square doing now. They focus on the healthcare, education, and travel. Which one is where is not involving now? And if you want to acquire one company, it's not very easy. You can do in the short term. So that's why I put it a long term. And THUY will have, if we can acquire THUY, Square can increase the market segment to explore a new customer. and we will be the first mover to provide differentiations and create a new strand to financial service industry.
Yes. Yes, I think that's it matched with the business strategy, right?
Yep.
This really matched. Yeah, well matched. I think that's good idea.
Yep.
Okay, everyone, thank you very much for your sharing with us all the ideas and during our discussion about the proposal, execution, action. I believe that, okay, but it's not just only use this tool or just draw the line to see the timeline to action and plan, but have something other is also important. Let's see what is it. Okay, so let's continue with corporate culture. Miss Sue, are you happy to share with us on this topic?
Yes. Firstly, I would like to share with you about corporate culture. I think you will interested to hear about that. So we have 4 points here. Can you see this screen?
Yes,
so,
for sure.
Yes, so I can just quickly go through that, and you please stop me if you have any question.
Okay, I think that's already clear. So maybe we just move on.
Yes.
For the leadership, yes, I think leadership is the important things. Yes. So what is the chart you draw here?
It's the process to develop the people move to the higher position. That should go through 4 steps. As you see that, firstly, data gathering and the talent creation and development planning, and finally the qualification. To make sure the process we can generate the benefits to have the competency certification is suitable for the new position.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. So yes. So the next thing is organization building action. But what is it so for the privacy and security?
Yes, you can see the left side of, the left side has a customer and employee. There are strict requirements for privacy and security, and they need to commit with the policy and to make sure we can protect data, protect the privacy and personal data of their customer. And the next, and the next I will talk about civic engagement. Yeah.
Okay. So for civic engagement, I see here where is they conduct and they produce some workshop for the small business. Is it correct, so?
Yes, this is correct information.
And they also have the year-long partnership with the government organization also.
Yes, this is to develop small business by conduct some workshop and seminars. So you move on to the next slide.
Okay.
And so you can see that Square spent a lot of on development and research for improve the technology, but also in terms of the corporate social responsibility to develop talent. Square also invest more. For example, for talent development, they can organize coaching sessions for via online or offline to give employee a chance to improve personal skill and gain knowledge. And they also have the surveys every year to make sure that employee willing to engage with the company and can raise the feedback if any. And also Square care about health and wellness for employees through compensation and benefits. And they also offer incentive program That's why you can see the Square staff. The Square staff can enjoy a lot benefits when they have a contract working with Square in a healthy and a fair working environment.
Okay. Thank you so. Yeah, thank you so for the all sharing about the corporate culture and the privacy policy and other things. But yes, but directly to our strategy, our plan, our action so far, I think we should add more motivation for our efficiency execution. So what are they? I think this should be the tie incentive to strategy execution and financial performance. The second thing is Square should keep the time between achieving the target performance outcome and the payment of the rewards as short as possible. And they also need to retain a high performance employees by salary increases, performance bonuses, stock options, and equity ownership, fringe benefit package, and other perks as well. And yes, by the way, also need to adopt a promotion from within the policy and action from the suggestion from the employees. Yeah, this is also important. And the last point I want to mention here, that is the company should share the information with employees about the financial information, the strategy, the operational measures, market condition, and competitor action as well. Yeah, so maybe that quite long our talk show today, but I hope that our audience can have the really informative information about Square and also the financial products and service industry as well. You can looking for more information and data or the number about this with our research shops. We already added in the references slide here. Yes, and please feel free to contact us with this email. Yes, and at the end of the talk show today, I would like to thank you very much to our professor, Dr. Michael Saram, for his coaching on our project. And thank you our speakers to try the talk show today. And everyone, if you have any queries or concern, question, please feel free to send us by email. And if not, just see you on our forum this Saturday. And thanks a lot for watching. And if you find that our video is informative and helpful, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Thank you.